A critical area of focus is understanding how wood interacts with water. Water is the lifeblood of all plants and organisms on our planet. However, its mechanical role in trees, beyond just hydration and nutrient transport, has only recently been fully appreciated.
It is this way of looking at the water in plant cell wall that we consider it as a fourth structural element complementing cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin, which really provides the material's performance.
If you think about trees swaying in the wind, the elasticity and flexibility of trees is actually very different from wood, which has been felled. When you fell a tree or any plant, if you remove it from its native growth environment, it dehydrates. A plant fiber that has been dehydrated, removed of water largely, is a very different material from a living tissue.
The dehydrated fiber and its water interactions have been the headache of the pulp and paper industry for centuries.
Traditional limitation of paper is that once you put it in water, it loses its mechanical integrity.
The FinnCERES researchers at Aalto University and VTT are approaching this phenomenon from the opposite angle.
We are looking at how to utilize this instead of trying to prevent the water uptake.
We take the full advantage out of these water responsiveness, water interactions.
At the nanoscale, these water interactions become even more pronounced. This is the realm of nanocellulose.
The properties which are very intriguing from applications perspective is the high surface area and film formation ability, and also the peculiar behavior when it's in contact with water. These properties are very useful when we want to broaden the application fields, which can be towards high-tech applications, for example, for cellulosic and lignocellulosic materials in general.
One such application has been developed for the fight against microplastics pollution. This invisible enemy is threatening life in all its forms, and we are only starting to understand its effects. At FinnCERES, a research group led by Professor Tekla developed a wood-based nanocellulose membrane that is able to entrap even the smallest nano-sized plastic particles, which are particularly difficult to capture otherwise. These membranes could help scientists all over the world to make accurate measurements on the quantities of nanoparticles in different water systems. In a step towards commercializing nanocellulose membranes, the FinnCERES project called AC Film is developing industrially viable bio-based water filtration membranes to meet the growing demand for new water purification systems required in the European Union.
The new Drinking Water EU directive that requires either the replacement of old pipelines or some type of device filtering the water just before the consumer uses it, and it is very expensive and challenging to replace the whole underground systems in big cities.
Pressure-driven membrane filtration technologies are considered one of the most energy-efficient pathways for water purification. However, conventional membrane structures are fabricated using relatively expensive and synthetic materials.
Most of the available solutions nowadays to either big industries or consumers are made of fossil-based resources that can lead to the issues of microplastics.
The researchers have addressed these challenges by developing a nanocellulose membrane derived from wood, making it biodegradable and renewable.
Upon chemical modifications, we can introduce various functional groups which enable us to capture contaminants from the water.
We have identified promising findings from the economic feasibility analysis of the membranes. They are economically competitive and also perform as expected for ultrafiltration. Now we are looking to how do we scale up and how do we develop it further towards commercialization.